Hello friends! Just over a year ago, I made a video showing off my most played Nintendo Switch games. I really liked the activity log on the 3DS and Wii U, as it was fascinating to see which games had consumed me the most. I wish the Switch could let you see all the stats in the same amount of detail as those, but at least you can categorise your collection by most played. So I am going to look at this to see which games I have played the most. If you haven't seen last year's video, then click that link in the description to see how it was last year and see how much things have changed or indeed stayed the same in my gaming habits. And make sure to click subscribe if you want to see what my list looks like next October. I'm sure it'll be worth the wait. For any games still on this list from last year, I'm not going to talk a whole lot about, as I would just be repeating myself, but I will instead talk about how my approaches to those games have changed since last year. And I don't want to give away my list in this intro, so the games you've been looking at so far are in positions 20 to 11. So I'm Dave from SaveDex. Here are my top 10 most played Nintendo Switch games as of October 2020. Number 10, Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition. Last year this spot was taken by Yooka-Laylee, which has fallen out of the top 10 as you saw in the intro, and now Hyrule Warriors, which was in 6th place last year, has dropped to the number 10 spot. As much as I love this game, I haven't played it a whole lot in this last year, so it would naturally fall down a few spots. But I do think it's telling how much I got into this game that it still remains in the top 10 despite me not playing it much lately. We are getting a new game in this series next month, Age of Calamity, so I'll get to play more of this game's amazing combat gameplay through a different experience. Number 9, Tetris 99. Rocket League took this spot last year, but now it's Tetris 99, and all I can say here is, my plan worked. Last year, this game was in 8th place with 65 hours or more as it said, but now it's saying 85 hours or more. Obviously these time stats don't give an accurate reading as there's like a 4 to 5 hour leeway, but notice that just 6 months after its release I got it past the 65 hour mark, and then a year later it only gained 20 hours in that time. This was due to me worrying about getting too addicted to it, so I got the physical version, thinking I'd play it less if I had to put the cartridge in each time. Well, I am pleased to tell you that it seems to have worked. Amazing game here, but I'm glad I'm not playing it too much now, and I'm having more time to play other games. Maybe I should have taken that tactic with the next entry though. Number 8, 51 Worldwide Games. When this game came out, I could have got it a bit cheaper physically, but I thought I would play it a lot more if it was digital, so it would be worth spending a bit extra for that. Well, I was right, and now this game takes the spot Tetris had last year, but maybe that's not a good thing, since a huge chunk of that 85 hours or more came with Spider Solitaire, as I have always found that game hugely addictive, and I've ended up losing many evenings to it. Maybe I should have gotten the physical copy, but outside of that, Sophie and I have spent a lot of time on games like chess and learning shogi and Yahtzee too. We're having a great time with them all round. Number 7, Pokemon Shield. This is where Super Mario Maker 2 sat last year. We'll get to that. But for now, we can look at the Gen 8 Pokemon game. Until a few months ago, this game might not have made the top 10. I played through the story, I enjoyed it, but I didn't plan to fill out the Pokédex or get the DLC, but then I received a text one morning asking if I can catch a Sableye for someone. It took me so long to actually get one, but in my time searching, I just got hooked at exploring the wild area, and I just made it my mission to fill up that Pokédex. I managed to get every single one before the DLC hit, so with Isle of Armor out and Crown Tundra just around the corner, I can do it all again. Number 6, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Dropping down from the 4th spot last year to number 6, which in turn has knocked Hyrule Warriors down to number 10, we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It is a game we stick on now and then, and it never falls short of providing the fun. I think its initial high playtime came from when the Switch was new and it was the only multiplayer that we had. And now there are many fantastic multiplayers on the Switch. We have 2 top 10 lists already on this channel, so it was just a case of us having to share out our playtime among others, which is why this game hasn't remained as high on the list as it did. Number 5, Stardew Valley. Last year, Stardew Valley was in my number 5 spot, despite me having never played it. It is now still in my number 5 spot, and this time I have played it. Very briefly though. As I mentioned last year, it was Sophie who had the file. She has since got her own Switch and moved her file over, so it can't climb up my list anymore without me spending a significant amount of time in it. Well, I've started my file. My character is called Randy and I live in Tiggerly Farm. It hasn't really hooked me in as I'm not really into these types of games, but for now it has to remain my 5th most played Switch game, despite me not playing it a whole lot. Number 4, Super Mario Odyssey. Mario Kart has been kicked down from this spot, and we now have Super Mario Odyssey in its place, which in turn sat at number 3 last year. I haven't done a complete playthrough of this game since then, but I have put a fair bit of time into it, around 15 hours it seems, which is no short time at all. I just love this game a lot, and running and jumping around finding moons never gets tiring for me. I really can't see this game ever leaving the top 5 on my list, unless a sequel gets announced maybe. Number 3, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. This was in at number 2 last year, now it's at number 3. We still haven't heard anything about the sequel since last year, but we are getting a prequel next month in that Age of Calamity game I mentioned earlier, and the announcement of which has made me stick this game in again. Having already beaten the game, I mainly just dip in and out of it nowadays, do a few side quests and muck around. I haven't completed the DLC though. Maybe I should get round to that. Number 2, Super Mario Maker 2. Breath of the Wild was knocked down a spot by Super Mario Maker 2, which was number 7 last year, making it the only game on this list that set a higher position than last year. I did say last year that I expected this to be higher up on the list in the future, and here it is. I still haven't played this one as much as I did the original, but that's just because the Switch has so many more great games to play than the Wii U did. Now that it's in number 2, I don't expect it to drop any positions from now on, but I doubt it will overtake my number 1 game. So I think my top 2 could be set in stone for the Switch's lifespan now, but we'll see what happens. And number 1, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Yeah, of course it is. So, those were my top 10 most played Nintendo Switch games. I think this is very telling in what kind of gamer I am, given that out of my top 10, 9 of them are Nintendo published games, and the only one that isn't is the game that was played by Sophie. But I like what I like, and you all like what you like, and that's all fantastic. So let me know down below what games are in your top 10. What games have gripped you and put hundreds of hours into, if not thousands. I sure haven't got that far yet. Make sure you click that like and subscribe while you're down there too, that would be most spiffing. So thank you very much for watching everyone, I will see you in the next one.